The Latinos in hip hop controversy. Okay? This shit is getting out of hand. Right? And I've been approached by many different people on many different levels, different publications, media, social media. Yo, what you think about I don't have nothing to say. Or you already know my position because some of the first Latinos in hip hop were down with me. So I know the contribution of Latinos in hip hop and I know where it came from and when it started. Okay, so don't try to throw me in that shit like, yo, well, nigga, Disco Wiz was my first DJ partner. Puerto Rican and Cuban, okay? One of my first MCs was Prince Whipper Whip. I mean, Puerto Rican. Once I left there, Charlie Chase. Charlie Chase was my fucking DJ for the Cold Crush. So me and Puerto Ricans in hip hop, I know, I see. But the question is, not were there Puerto Ricans or Latinos in hip hop? That's undoubted. But how big a contribution? Because it's been quoted as, like Fat Joe put it out there, that, yo, as far as people who made hip hop, it's 50-50 with Latinos and African Americans. And I've been there from the beginning. Prior to hip hop, I've been through the gangs, you know what I mean, when you couldn't walk through certain neighborhoods and all that other shit. And I seen all that shit all the way up to hip hop. And I know personally, okay, that every Latino person that I know of gravitated towards hip hop. Okay? They either got down with somebody, black, that was doing hip hop, or was associated through the movement that was started. Now, there were some people, nigga, if you didn't know that Puerto Rican DJ down the block, or DJ Mike, whoever, or whatever, and get that speaker from him, nigga, or that amp, nigga, you ain't coming out to play no music today. So as far as contributions, it's a lot of them, you know what I mean, that really played integral parts in hip hop happening. At the end of the day, excuse me, at the end of the day, if hip hop, if there were no Latinos in hip hop, would there still have been hip hop? That's the question I want to put. Wow. If there was never a Puerto Rican, a Dominican, would there still have been hip hop in your opinion?
I say hell yeah.
Yeah.
I think yeah. I guess maybe, like I said, I always preface my statements by a very novice understanding of the whole history of hip hop. But for myself, the way I always looked at their contribution, I guess at its greater levels, in my opinion, was basically in graffiti, right? Like even when I was young, I knew dope graffiti writing Spanish people, and I knew dope dancing. You know what I'm saying? And that b-boy dancing thing, they were some of the dopest ones that I knew, from where I was around in Brooklyn. So would hip hop have been the same to me with no Puerto Rican doing it? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think, what I call that 50-50, I wouldn't call that 50-50. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't call that 50-50. But it would be. I don't think it would be the same thing that it was without that
Understood. What about you, Mike?
I basically feel kind of like KB said. I feel that, I lost my train of thought. I feel that
take a sip.
If the
take a shot, nigga.
Take a sip. It'll help you out.
if there wasn't any Puerto Ricans in hip hop, we would still have hip hop. But I do feel they contributed a lot. because that salsa beat and the congos that they used to play in the park, that all contributed to me. It contributed a lot to hip hop. You know what I mean?
I feel the same way, but me coming from like a direct perspective, and like I said, I've seen this. I lived it. I live in the heart. I live on Creston Avenue, bro. It wasn't nothing but Puerto Ricans on my block. You understand what I'm saying? And some of the first, friendships that I made were with Puerto Ricans or Latinos because the things that we had in common. You know what I mean? Being Wiz, my man, we like to dress. We like to be fly. You know what I mean? He wore Kangos, I wore, this and that. He had, we had a certain style that me and him together was like them dudes. You know what I mean? But he caught a lot of flack from hanging with me. Now, a lot of Latinos, are trying to claim ownership of the culture, and rightfully so. Definitely made major contributions to this thing called hip hop. But don't forget, there was a time when Latin culture, meaning Spanish or Puerto Rican culture, and black culture was two different things. Even though we lived together in the same areas, it was like you ate Puerto Rican food, I eat black food, you wear this, I wear that. I play basketball, you play handball. You know what I mean? We on the turntables, y'all on the congas. You know what I mean? You can't deny, that we all exercise a different culture because of the melting pot aspect that we come together. We all in the park. We share the park, nigga.
Right.
Okay, so y'all in the handball court or in the softball court, you have a couple Puerto Ricans playing basketball, but that's predominantly black people playing ball. You know what I mean? And the same thing happened with the music. The music was predominantly black people, and some Puerto Ricans like, yo, that shit is cool too. Or yo, I got a speaker too. Or I got a turntable. Or and you know what I mean, came in. But I mean, just and we'll look up in the comments later on and see what people had to say about it. But as far as I'm concerned, and this is my last take on it, I know firsthand the contributions that Latinos have made to hip hop. It's been invaluable. But for you to say that there would be no hip hop without Puerto Ricans, hip hop would have been alive and well. It just would have lacked the contributions of the Latino community. But it still would have went on. It still would have been here.